I told you, it is like framing the study of organizational behavior. The first unit is like in what are all the fields the organizational behavior helps. Okay. So organizational behavior, we cannot say that it is it is related to only one field. No, it is related to all the fields. Like you see, it will be helpful in economics also. It will be helpful in sociology, psychology. In all the fields, it will be helpful. So organizational behavior, the first unit, like you will be studying what are all the framework or how do you frame the study of organizational behavior. Then what is organizational change? What is organizational culture? Okay. So how we can how we can frame the organizational behavior? Organizational behavior has many framework. So as I said, it is the framework means it is like how people perceive the world. For example, you may perceive Malawi as different, like maybe a place where it is not rich of raw materials, rich of money, like that. But I may perceive Malawi as different. So the perception of people will be different. Whatever the thing you are thinking will not be the same that I am thinking. Okay. So the framing is that it refers to the thinking of the person, perception of the individual. That is known as framing of organizational behavior. And somebody who operates in human resource may frame the OB as different, and somebody who works in marketing, they may frame OB as different. Okay. So there are more like 4 characteristics of OB. So the first one is people, structure, technology and external environment. I think where this board we cannot write now. How they will write in this board?
I think I don't know. Because it's the chalkboard.
It is a chalkboard.
I don't know why everyone was using the marker.
And someone was using the marker and it cannot be rubbed also. Yes. So we have 4 characteristics of OB. People, structure, technology and external environment. So people is, we will be studying about the people in the organization. Like the employees in the organization. People means it is the employees. Employees in the organization who are all working in the organization. Structure is the structure of the management. Every management will have their own structure. Okay? Will have a own structure, like the hierarchy, the protocol of the organization. For example, if you see here, the protocol will be the VC, registrar, dean, heads and the lecturers. So it is a hierarchy which you have to be followed. That is known as the structure of the organization. In every organization there will be a structure like CEO, then the managing director, then the heads of each department like marketing head, marketing manager, HR manager, sales manager will be there, then assistant managers will be there, then the employees will be there. So the structure will be different from one organization to other organization. We cannot say that all the organization will follow the same structure. No. It depends upon the organization's size and the motives. Okay. So the second important characteristic is structure. The third one is technology used. So nowadays we are using laptops, but in older days they don't use laptops. They use the handwritten ones. Okay. So the technology is being keep on updating. In organization also, the technology should be updated. Then only we can compete with the competitors. Otherwise, it will be very hard to compete with the competitors. So the technology, once if it is updated only, we can use the modern technologies. Otherwise, we will be back and all our competitors will be going updated. So the technology is one of the important characteristics. And the last one is external environment. What do you talk about the external environment? What is meant by external environment? Yes? Do you have any idea on that? outside. Yes, it is outside of the organization. It is not like concerned with the organization, but the external factors which affect the organization. Okay, so like that, the external factors are your competitors, your like legal requirements, like any disasters. These are all the external requirements or external factors which affect the organization. Okay, so that these are the 4 important characteristics of OB. The people, then can you tell me? People, then what are all the other one?
Pardon?
Okay, the first important characteristic is people. What are all the other characteristics?
There is a structure of an organization.
Yes, very good. Then
And
people, structure, technology. Okay, technology is very important. Technology, and the last one is external environment. So these are the characteristics. So what do you mean by organizational behavior? What is organizational behavior like in a short one, in a brief one?
organizational behavior.
So we can say that organizational behavior, it is a set of, like it is a subset of management activities. So there will be lot of management activities. So organizational behavior is a subset of, it is like a branch. Okay, it is a subset of management activities which are being concerned with understanding, predicting and influencing the individual behavior. Like we have to understand what is the individual behavior in the organization, then we have to predict how that individual behavior will affect the organization, and you have to conclude how individual X or Y is behaving in the organization. So these 3 things are very much important in organizational behavior. So organizational behavior, it is a subset. Okay, it is a subset, like it is a branch. It is a branch of management activities. So in a management, what are all the activities being done? Organizational behavior is also one of that. Okay, so it helps in understanding, predicting and influencing. So OB is it is a overall study of human behavior. It is a overall study of human behavior in the organization. Okay, so how an employee reacts in the organization, how he is like influencing the organization, how he is concerned. So the total understanding of the employee in the organization is only known as OB. And we can also say that OB, it is also a study. Okay, it is a study of human behavior in the organization. In simple, we can say it is a study of human behavior in the organization. Okay. Now can you know the meaning of OB? Can you understand the meaning of OB?
Of what?
Meaning of OB, organizational behavior.
Oh yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
So in short, the organizational behavior like surrounds around 2 concepts: the nature of the man and the nature of the organization. Okay, so the study of the nature of the human behavior, the nature of the man, and the study of the organization policies also. So as we told, the characteristics of like organizational behavior, it surrounds around people, then technology, external environment and structure. Okay. Nature of organizational behavior. Nature of organizational behavior. So the first we told that organizational behavior surrounds around two concepts, the nature of the man and the nature of the organization. So the nature of organizational behavior is mainly focusing on the employee in the organization, within the organization. It doesn't focus how an employee behaves in a home. No, it focuses on how employees behave in the organization. Okay, so we can say that the first important nature is it is a unique perceptive. Okay, it is a unique perceptive. Like organizational behavior is very unique. We cannot compare that organizational behavior with other things. It is unique by its own nature. Okay, and the second important nature is it is very dynamic. Organizational behavior is dynamic. So it helps to understand how individuals behave in the organization and how they interact within the organization. We cannot compare one individual to another individual, no. But it helps in understanding the behavior of the individual in an organization. That is the second nature. And it also concludes that no individual can work isolation. So for example, if you have been appointed for an organization and you are the only employee in the organization, no, you cannot work in isolation. You have to work in groups. That is the only thing the organizational behavior concludes. So these are the three nature of organizational behavior. The first one is it is unique, second one is it is dynamic, and the third one is it cannot work isolatedly. It helps the management point. We have seen the characteristics. It can be also known as the key pillars. So these four people, structure, technology and external environment, acts as a key pillars also. Key pillars of organizational behavior. What is the main purpose of OB? Why we need to study organizational behavior?
To understand how people manage the organization, how employees react to things that are happening in the organization.
Okay. The main objective or the main purpose of organizational behavior is to understand the human interaction in an organization. Okay. So the first important purpose is to understand how employees behave in an organization, how they work in an organization, how they interact in an organization. And the second one is what influences them. Okay, what influences them to attain the goals.
Let me take this one step back. Hello? Hi, it's non-stop from University of London. Well, we're supposed to have a class. We have a class right now for organizational behavior. I said we have a class right now for organizational behavior. Yeah. When we 7.
He is not coming?
He's coming.
Okay. So the second driving force is it influences for the better results for attaining the goals. So the first main purpose is to understand the human interactions. To understand the human interactions in an organization. Then the second one is to find out what influences them to get better results for attaining the goals and objectives. So as you know, every organization will have their own goals and objectives. It will not be the same as other one. So in order to attain the goals and objectives of the organization, what is the driving force? has to be understood. So these are the two concepts or two main purpose of organizational behavior. So are you clear with the meaning, characteristics and the concepts and the purpose of OB? And there are three components of organizational behavior. So the first important concept is micro.
Components or concepts?
Components. Micro, meso. Okay. Shall I also write here? I think this can be rubbed because it is micro, meso and macro. So these are the three components of organizational behavior. From the word micro itself we can understand that it is the individual level. Okay. So analyzing the employee individual level, analyzing and also understanding. The employee's individual level is known as micro. Okay. Analyzing and understanding the employees in the organization. Whatever we say, it is comparative to the organization. And meso is analyzing and understanding at group level. Okay. So when we are talking about organizational behavior, it is not only like understanding and analyzing an individual, but also we should also understand and analyze the group. Okay. Meso is understanding the group. And macro it is like the total organization. So analyzing and understanding what happens in the total organization. So these three are the important components of organizational behavior. These three helps, like if you analyze the individual, if you analyze the group and the organization as a whole, these three helps to analyze the organization. And what are all the corrective measures to be taken in order if there is any like issues or problems. Okay. So these three components contribute, like it helps as a main element for organizational behavior. So we have factors that influence OB. So what all may be the factors which influences organizational behavior in an organization? What are all the factors which may affect organizational behavior? What are all the factors which may affect individual? First you tell me that. What are all the factors which affect individual? So your cultural factors, okay, you may be from a different background. The culture which you are following must be different. So your cultural factors affect the individual. So that also affects the organization. Your motivation, you may not be motivated. So once you get into the organization, then you will not feel as a motivation. So that also affects, that is also one factor which affects the organizational behavior. Then your decision making skills. You may not be very much like a good decision maker. That also affects the organization. And the last one is the change. You may not be like very much likely to change yourself. So as individuals, we should be always flexible. We should not be rigid. Okay. whenever we are about to change, we should be able to change it. We should cope up the changes. We should not be rigid in telling that we cannot change. No. So these are the factors which affect individual in organization behavior. Okay. We have the features of organizational behavior. Features. Features of organizational behavior. So the first one is organizational behavior. It is a study and participation of knowledge. As we told, organizational behavior studies, it understands, it perceives, and then only it will come to a solution. So it is a study of human behavior. So OB is a study and participation of knowledge. It is not only the study, but it also helps us in knowledge giving.
In knowledge what?
Participation of knowledge. So OB, the characteristics or the features we can classify as, it is a separate field of study. Okay, it is a separate field of study. We cannot compare the organizational behavior to other disciplines. It is a separate field. It is a distinct one. It is a unique one. We cannot compare OB to other fields. And the second feature is, it is an interdisciplinary approach. That means it is not only helpful in one discipline, but it also helps in all the areas. As I told you, it helps in economics, psychology, human resource, marketing, everywhere. So only we tell organizational behavior as interdisciplinary. Okay? It not only concentrates on one discipline, but it also helps in all the disciplines. So it is one of the important features. And I think we have done this one. The third one is, it is an applied science. So applied science means it is not theory. It is an experimental one. Whatever we study, we should experiment and find out the result. It is not like studying the theory part. It is an application oriented one. Organizational behavior is an application oriented. It is like an experiment. We have to do and find out the result. Okay. And the next one is, it is a humanistic approach. So organizational behavior always surround around human. So we can say that it is a humanistic approach. Since it is dealing only with the human behavior, studying, understanding, analyzing the human, it is only known as humanistic approach. It doesn't deal with machines or plants. Okay. And the last one is, we can say that it is a total system approach. The organizational behavior is a total system approach. Without this OB, there is no any behavior in the organization. So only with the organizational behavior, we can go and surround and understand the concepts of the organization. Okay. So these are the features of OB. Any doubt you have now, so far? This is the introduction of OB and the framing of OB. Okay, it helps in all the areas. Next one is organization culture. Organization change, not culture. next topic is only culture. This is organization change. What is organizational change? So what is change we know? Yes? So what is organization change? So, something with the organization is following. After that we make some policies and change. Okay? Which is not relevant to the goals and objectives of the organization. You cannot change anything which is relevant to the goals and organization, but you can change which is not relevant to the goals and objectives of the organization. So organization change is to make or become different. Okay? So what we are following, it will not be the same, but to follow a different thing. So today if you see the Japan and the Americans, they follow, what they are following is different from us. Okay. So they follow a new technology, they are far advanced in the technologies and the changes. Whatever they are doing it now, we will be doing after 5 years. So we are not only Malawi, I am also telling about India. Okay. We are like just behind them. They are very much changing and they are going in the far abroad. Okay. What is the nature of change? Why change is like needed? Nature of change is, the first one is, change gives us an opportunity to grow. Okay. Change gives an opportunity to grow. So whatever the decisions we make with the management, it helps in growing. It provides a part of life and it provides an opportunity to grow. Okay. And an organization is an open system. We cannot hide anything from the organization. No. It is an open system. And with that relationship between the employees and the organization, if anything goes wrong, then we can make changes. Okay. We have two types of changes: reactive change and proactive change. Reactive changes and proactive changes. So reactive changes are the changes where the organization compels us to change. For example, if due to the disasters like COVID and other things, we are forced to go to online. Okay, so that is a reactive change. Due to some issues, we are forced. The organization is forcing us to go to changes. That is reactive. Proactive means it is a planned change. Proactive, it is a planned change where the organization plans. Like after 3 years, the organization should be changed like this manner. After 3 years, when the organization grows, then we can change the time of the organization. We can change the goals of the organization. So that is known as proactive changes. It is a planned change. But reactive changes, they are not planned one. They are forced by the management, by the organization to change. Clear with the difference? Are you clear? Why organizations are going for change? What are all the reasons maybe?
You said for growth.
Sorry?
You said growth.
What are all the reasons for organization go to change?
The reasons for the organization go.
Okay. Maybe. Then, like any change in the plant's equipments. Okay. For example, if I am following if I am having like 50 tools, plants and machineries in my organization. If I want to add some things, like another 50, then there is a change. So in order to add or in order to have an extra of tools, machines and equipments, then change is necessary. So the first important reason is changes in tools, machineries and plants. So if there is a new tools and machineries, then the employees has to be given training for the new one. So at that point changes are needed. Okay. That is the first reason. The second one is changes in the methods and procedures followed. So I will be following on method and procedures in the organization. For example, now there is a change. The usual methods and procedure followed in University of Lilongwe is we will be teaching and then we will be going. But now we are, for quality purpose, we are recording it. Okay. So that is the new change in this organization. So the second reason of change is changes in methods and procedures which are being followed in the organization. So whatever the methods and procedure followed, that it is being changed. Okay. And the third one is changes in business conditions, like changes in quality of the product, the size of the product, maybe the product may be now changed or due to some marketing process or due to some quality issues. Okay. Changes in business conditions. The business conditions may be changed. And the next one is changes in managerial positions. For example, like I may be the CEO of one company, but due to some reasons I may be fired. So I may give my position to the other person. So if there is a change in managerial position also, the changes occur in the organization. And the next one is changes in the structure of the organization. As I have told you, every organization will have a structure, will follow a protocol, will follow a hierarchy. If there is any change in that, then it also affects the organization change. Okay. So these are the reasons why organization goes for change.